Alright everybody, it is official. Hansi Flick has signed the contract with FC Barcelona and he has been presented. This is what Hansi Flick had to say about his arrival. And it is going to be a long statement, so hang with me here. And I quote, "First of all, I would like to thank everyone who's included. Yes, it's a big honor and also a dream for me to sign a contract here to work for this club, this amazing club, and I'm happy to be here and happy to start. The club is unbelievable. The hours I am here is amazing because everyone here loves the club and try to give their best for success. The philosophy they have is similar to like mine, which is holding possession and play really attacking football. There are things I love and yeah, we'll work on that. Barcelona has one of the best academies in the world and they have a good mix between experience as well as young players, and I think we have to improve them. This is our job together. With Deco, the president, Joan Laporta, it's very important for me and the teamwork. Yeah, we need to be together about that and to care about what we focus on. I'm really happy to do this with these guys. I won some titles with Bayern Munich and my hunger is really big for titles. I would like to stay on this path with Barcelona. I think we can achieve a lot together. This is the important thing. I'd really like to start this journey together with you. And for me, it's very important to me that you support us. It's a big thing also for the team. Together, we can achieve a lot with this amazing team. And yes, Visca Barcelona." So Hansi Flick sounds very motivated to succeed at this club. And I'm very excited because this is a brand new era. It has also been reported, according to Alex Pintanel, that Hansi Flick met with Pep Guardiola 3 months ago in Manchester and asked him about Barcelona. The two talked about the club and their football ideas. This does align with the reports about how Hansi Flick was studying Barcelona over the past few months because he wanted to see what's the club like, what is the culture, how important is La Masia, what type of players do Barcelona have, can they improve? And Hansi Flick believes, like what he did state, that these players can get even better. And he is talking about players like Pedri, Gavi, Frenkie, Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, Koundé, Balde, and everybody else. And really, like Hansi Flick is really that obsessed. The fact that he went to Pep Guardiola for advice, you can tell that he wants everything to go perfect. Now, as you can see, throughout these pictures that I have been showing, Hansi Flick has met with some of the players. Most importantly, he has met with Alejandro Balde and Frenkie de Jong, two players who have not really participated in the season that we have just finished due to injury. And you can just tell that Hansi Flick looks at these two players and he's like, I can't wait to start this season with you guys. And I'm going to be talking about exactly what the starting 11 could look like for the next season under Hansi Flick. That does include Alejandro Balde and Frenkie de Jong. Now, of course, everything is subject to change because we don't know what the answers are going to be coming from La Liga. What if Barcelona get the notice that they can sign 2 or 3 players with no problem? That would be amazing, right? But everything is subject to change. As of now, at the moment that I'm recording this video, on May 29th, this is what we know so far. Musiala and Florian Wirtz, 2 players that are admired by Hansi Flick and 2 players that is wanted by Hansi, are unreachable. Barcelona cannot sign those 2 players no matter what. They're not in the plans. We do have to forget about it. Wirtz will continue at Bayer Leverkusen if he does choose to, and Musiala will continue at Bayern Munich if he does choose to. There is no way Barcelona will sign these 2 players, and even if they do, if they sign either Wirtz or Musiala, that would not allow for Barcelona to sign further players. It would be one and done. So that is why they're not even going to think about signing either of these 2 German talents. So moving on from that, we have many sources, which includes Fernando Polo, Roger Torreo, and Gabriel Sanz, explaining that Barcelona do not want to sell any of their heavyweights. And it says here that Barcelona doesn't want to sell their heavyweights at all. This includes players like Araujo, Frenkie de Jong, Gavi, and Pedri. Most within the club believe Araujo will be important to Hansi Flick's project, and they also trust that Frenkie de Jong will make a leap in quality. Frenkie de Jong has not made any progress in his renewal either, but Barcelona believes that he can still make the expected leap in quality. And so yes, Barcelona and Hansi Flick do see Frenkie de Jong and Araujo as keys to this project. And it's crazy to hear this news, right? Because we all knew that the whole plan was for Barcelona to sell some of their heavyweights because we wanted to sell one of our heavyweights to bring in a big time player. And the fact that Barcelona are no longer thinking about selling any of them, neither Frenkie, neither Araujo, neither Gavi, neither Pedri, it goes to show that yes, Hansi Flick does believe that these players can be maximized. Pedri should not leave, Gavi should not leave, nor should Frenkie or Araujo. And of course, like I have said, I will be explaining how our starting 11 will look like with these heavyweights that will continue. But before we go into that, I also want to talk about Sergio Roberto, because it says here, according to Ferran Correas, that regardless whether it was Xavi or Hansi, Sergio Roberto will renew with Barcelona for 1 more season, despite, again, Xavi leaving or Hansi Flick at the club. The club has always maintained its idea of extending him for 1 more year. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I know that so many of us are so tired to hear about Sergio Roberto. Like it's like you can't get away from him. Sergio Roberto just continues to have more continuity at this club. Maybe there's something that we just don't know about Sergio Roberto, know that the Barcelona board does know. And I have a feeling that the reason why they want to continue to keep him is because he's a great utility player, meaning that he's not so good at just one thing. He's just a solid 6 in everything. And also, he carries a lot of experience. He has been at Barcelona since 2010, in the first team, of course. Before that, he was there through the Barcelona Academy. But it seems like Hansi Flick, Joan Laporta, and Deco do want to maintain the player. I don't expect Sergio Roberto to not even be nowhere near as like a starter for the club. I even think that he's not even going to be the captain for Barcelona next season. He's simply going to be a 3rd to 4th option within the midfield or in the defense, depending on where they want to use the player. Moving on from that, I want to quickly talk about Araujo and Frenkie, because these are also 2 players that many of us expected to sell, either one of these 2. And it's surprising to hear that Araujo and especially Frenkie de Jong will have another season with Barcelona. I want to speak about Araujo first. Obviously, this season that we have just completed, this was a downgrade for him compared to the previous one, which was the 2022-2023 season. And a lot of it does have to do with the collective performance. A lot of the players were not able to deliver, and that is why Araujo, the same thing. He was not able to deliver. It was like a ripple effect on all players. Now, here's the thing though. Even though Araujo stepped down a level this season, he was still one of the best center backs in the world, regardless whether he took that step down. It shows you the standards that he does have. This was simply just a season that did expose Araujo, and it showed exactly how he performs under pressure. For example, that 1-versus-1 against Barcelona, all he had to do was stay calm and know how to handle the situation. Allow for the 1-versus-1 against Ter Stegen. Araujo did not have to trip or tackle the player. He was simply just nervous. We saw the true Araujo under massive pressure. A mistake like that in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, you have to be perfect, because even that one little thing will get you knocked out, and that's inexcusable. Now, not every center back is going to be perfect. Of course, there is going to be, like, in even Maldini and Nesta made mistakes before, but Araujo can improve in this aspect of the game, and we want him to. And I believe that Hansi Flick believes that he can better the player. Overall, he was great, and I know that he wants to learn. You can just feel that he does want to improve, and that is why he's one of the captains of Barcelona. Hansi Flick is also going to want a high line at Barcelona, and in order to have a high line, you need to have very reliable center backs, and center backs who are extremely fast and can cover space. Look at this picture here that was also analyzed by Albert, a great Barcelona analyzer, on Twitter. He was explaining that Bayern Munich under Hansi Flick distributed a high line. Can you imagine having slow center backs at Barcelona with their defensive line this high on the pitch? It will be suicide. Araujo has to be there because he is a very fast center back. At one point, we even saw him beat Kylian Mbappe on a 1v1 duel, so he has to be there. As for Frenkie de Jong, the biggest sale that could have happened for Barcelona will not leave. He could have given us 90 million euros and released 35 million euros in wages. Frenkie de Jong has been through a roller coaster since he joined Barcelona. He went from playing as a left winger under Ernesto Valverde to playing as a simple central midfielder under Setien to playing as a pivot in a 4-2-3-1 system under Ronald Koeman. We even saw times where he was playing as a center back and also as an 8 under Ronald Koeman. It explains the reason why his best stat season was under Koeman, where he scored 7 goals and 7 assists back in 2020. And then from there, after he has been juggled all around, Xavi Hernandez came in and gave Frenkie de Jong a deeper role to support Sergio Busquets. And then we saw that his signature move was to always like dribble back to the goalkeeper, do some body feints. A lot of people saw that as annoying because we're like, Frenkie de Jong's supposed to be a player that carries the ball forward and progress the ball for us to score more goals, but he only backtracks. But in the end, you can just tell that he was never really trusted as a lone pivot at Barcelona. That is the reason why in the previous season that we have just finished, we saw Christensen and Frenkie forming the double pivot under Xavi Hernandez. He was never fully trusted in a 4-3-3 with him being a lone pivot. And that is why many people are saying, let's just give up on Frenkie. He was never meant to be at Barcelona, and he was never meant to be the direct replacement to Sergio Busquets. But for the first time since his arrival, he is finally going to be coached by somebody that can master the 4-2-3-1 system with no problem, because he has done it at Bayern Munich. I'm pretty sure that he's going to want to do it at Barcelona, and Hansi Flick is said to be a coach where once he does give you that role, he does give you specific instructions. He does not want you to do anything else. He does not want you to express yourself, try to do all of these pretty things. No, he says, okay, you're going to play in this position, and these are going to be your 3 things, and the only 3 things that you're going to be doing. Those are going to be the set instructions. Even Mueller said that, I think 2 or 3 years ago. He explained that Hansi Flick is somebody who gives you order and directions, and he does not want you to come out of those set rules. And I think that is where Frenkie can live at. Frenkie loves environments like that, where he's given instructions and set rules to thrive in a 4-2-3-1 system. So it does get me very excited, to be honest. And the fact that Hansi Flick also said that his style of play is to have possession and play very attacking football, the only type of formation I can think of in terms of like our attacking phase, right, is to go into the 2-3-5 formation, something that Xavi Hernandez has experimented with, but very unsuccessful due to the fact that he did not have the correct profiles, whether it was through injury or because those players left. And I feel like Hansi Flick is going to go through the exact same thing and experiment experiment with the 2-3-5 formation. I know this is going to be very controversial, but I have been thinking, what could be the possible reason why Barcelona want Joshua Kimmich so much? Like why? Like even under Hansi Flick especially, he's gonna want Kimmich. He has worked with him before at Bayern Munich and also in the German national team. For sure, I think that Kimmich will be one of our signings. Same thing goes with Nico Williams. Nico Williams will be a player Barcelona will strive for and give the pace and the speed that Hansi will be looking for on the flanks. So here is going to be the formation that I believe Hansi Flick will implement along with the players. Keep in mind, like I've said, he's gonna maintain Araujo, Gavi, Frenkie, and Pedri, the 4 heavyweights that we were talking about before. And as you can see there, the only 2 signings that I believe Barcelona will make would be Kimmich and Nico Williams. And I believe, like I have said, the reason why Kimmich is highly wanted by Barcelona could be because they plan on using him as a false right back, I would say, meaning he will be a right back that inverts himself into the midfield to form the 2-3-5 formation. The 2-3-5 formation gives you so many attacking qualities. It gives you 5 men at the back, as you can see there, with Kimmich, Frenkie, Gavi, Araujo, and Koundé, and then it gives you 5 men up front with Yamal, Pedri, Lewandowski, Nico Williams, and Alejandro Balde. It's a very interesting formation that I believe could work and could really fit all players, even Joshua Kimmich. Maybe that could be the reason why they want Kimmich so bad. It's not to like literally be a double pivot with Frenkie and that's basically it. No, it's to form a 2-3 formation at the back with Kimmich, Frenkie, and Gavi controlling the midfield. And then our back 2 would be Koundé and Araujo, which would also explain the reason why Hansi Flick wants to continue with Araujo, because if you have 2 men at the back, right, as your last line, you need fast center backs. Koundé and Araujo do give you that. Now you may say, but Kevin, I think there's a weakness here because remember how Gavi is injured? We do not even know if he's going to be coming back the same. That's fine. This is the reason why the depth is so important. If Gavi cannot play, let's just say that he needs to be out for another 2 or 3 months after the season does start, then just put in Gundogan for Gavi. And so imagine, right, Gundogan, Frenkie, and Kimmich controlling the midfield. There is so much experience there, so much athleticism. How do you not win? And then as for our left wing position, a position that I believe needs an upgrade outside of Joao Felix, outside of Rafinha, outside of Ferran Torres, you have Nico Williams in there and Xavi Simons, who comes on loan. Barcelona is not going to be spending a single dime on Xavi Simons. Xavi Simons has all the responsibility and free will in the world to choose exactly where he does want to go, and I believe that it is going to be Barcelona. Allow Xavi Simons and Nico Williams to fight for the spot on the left wing. That would be amazing. These are 2 players who can become monumentally successful at the club. There was this report coming from Scout that explained players who have had 100+ minutes, aged 21 and less, with the most smart passes per 90 in Europe's top 5 leagues in the previous season contained Florian Wirtz, Matthias Sul, and the 3rd one was Xavi Simons. Xavi was ranked 3rd within the top 5 leagues with a total of 1.4 smart passes per 90. Florian Wirtz just annihilates everybody else because he just had a world-class season under Xabi Alonso. He averaged 2.33 smart passes per 90 minutes, and he's number 1. If you guys do not know what smart passes are, it's basically a creative and penetrative pass that attempts to break the opposition's defensive line to gain a significant advantage in the attack. Florian Wirtz is number 1, Xavi Simons is number 3. To have Xavi Simons in there and at Barcelona would really give Barcelona a huge advantage in terms of efficiency and goal creating opportunities. And so that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.